You're a crocheter who is looking for a brand new stitch to create into your new project. Well, I've got just the one for you. Hello everyone and welcome to Amparo Wonderland. So today I am going to show you this beautiful crochet stitch that I have found during my research and I have used on a new project that I will be releasing soon. Some of you showed interest when I showed this on my short, and I figured why not create a tutorial to help you create the same stitch but in your own project. This stitch is a little bit more advanced, but it does use the same basic stitches with a little bit of a twist. So without further ado, let's get yarning. What you need for materials is limited depending on how you want to create this stitch, but I am only going to be using one color. You can choose any color you prefer. I will be using the color red in this tutorial. You will need some stitch markers just to keep track of where the pattern starts and ends, just because it is a brand new stitch that you will be learning. And also you can use any size hook for your project. I will be using this 4.25mm crochet hook. Just for purposes of knowledge, this stitch is called a brioche stitch. The brioche stitch has several ways of being made, and this one has an elegant touch with the leaf texture, or like this vine texture that it has. It's very beautiful, and it has a multiple. When you're doing your startup chain, you want to have a multiple of 6 plus 3 stitches. So I am going to start my chain of 18 plus 3, which is 21 stitches. To start, what you need to do is that you gotta create yourself a slip knot. If you don't know how to create a slip knot, please go ahead onto my short. The card will be posted for you up there at the top. Now, after you create your slip knot, you are going to put your hook into the slip knot, obviously. And you're just going to create your stitches normally. So you go 1, and if you are just starting with crochet, you want to mark up the first one, so that way you can keep track of where your first stitch is. That way when you get to the end, you can count them. I'm going to go ahead and create my 21 stitches. Just in case you don't know how to create a chain, all you got to do after doing your slip knot, you are going to yarn over, and then you pull through the loop that's on your hook already, and that's one chain. Let me show you one more time. I will zoom in here, and what you do is that you're going to yarn over, and then you pull that piece that you yarned over through this stitch on your hook. Pull it through just like that. So that is a chain, and when you're doing a slip stitch, it's very similar, but we'll get to that later. So go ahead and continue and create your chains and create as many as you need. Like I said, you need a multiple of 6, and then you add 3 chains. Okay, so I'm gonna do my 21 stitches, and you do as many as you want. In the end, it does not matter. You can continue the pattern as you wish. So when you finish your chains, I will see you at the end. Okay, so I've got my 21 stitches here, my 21 chains, and you are going to start off your first row here. And to start, you got to do your turning chain, so do one more chain, and now we can start going back and work on this side of the chain. What we are going to do is that we're going to skip that chain that you just did, because that is your turning chain. And in the first chain here, you are going to do a slip stitch. So go right in there and just do a regular slip stitch, which is just like the chain that I told you. So you yarn over after putting your hook in the stitch there, and you're going to pull that loop up, and that loop goes right into the back loop on your hook. And that's your first slip stitch. And you're going to go ahead and mark up that stitch, so that way you do not get confused, because you will come back to it. Now, I want you to keep in mind that we will be working the back loops only. So make sure you remember that, because that is what gives it the texture of that leaf slash viney texture of it. Go ahead and create another slip stitch in the next stitch there. So you put your hook into that stitch, and you're going to yarn over, pull up your loop, and pull that loop right into that back loop there, and that's your second stitch. You're going to do 6 slip stitches. So let's go ahead and do that again. It's my third one, fourth, fifth, and I'm on my last one, number 6. Now we're gonna go back. Okay, so chain 1 and turn your piece. Now remember, we're working in the back loops only, so your slip stitches are right here in the front or in the back because we're looking from the back, and you're going to use the back loop only. So you're gonna go in the back loop here, and that's where you're going to start your next stitch. This is the part where it is a little more advanced. It did take me a little bit, but once you get the hang of it, you will understand it. This is what I like to call a yarn over slip stitch. I don't know if there's actually a name for it, but what we're going to do is that we're going to yarn over first. And we're gonna go into our back loop, the next one over here. So you skip the chain you made, right? And you're gonna go in there, you're going to yarn over and pull up that loop. And that loop, you're gonna pull through these back 2 loops that you have on your hook already. This is the part that it's a little tricky just because that first yarn over that you did is a little bit on the tight side, so sometimes it's easier to make the yarn over looser so that way it's not too tight for you to do that. As you saw, it was a little bit on the difficult side, but we're going to do that again. We're going to go all the way across, so we're going to do 6 yarn over slip stitches. So you're going to yarn over, you go into the next stitch, the back loop only. So go into that little back loop in the back. You're going to yarn over, pull up your loop, and go through the 2 loops in the back. Just like that. So you've got 2. So you do that again, you yarn over. Make sure you're using your working yarn. So you yarn over, go into the back loop only of the next stitch. You yarn over, you pull up your loop. And now that loop that you just pulled up is going to go through the back loops over here. So go through the back loops just like that. Okay, so that's 3 of them now. Go ahead and continue doing your stitches. You're going to have 6 of them. Okay, so when you get there, I will see you again. Great, so we made it to the end of our second part of the first row. And you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to work again in the back loops only of this part over here. So we've got our 2 loops here, right? This is the front here, this is the back. We're gonna go into the back loop only. And the pattern we're going to do here, it is a slip stitch, single crochet, a half double crochet in the next 2, and then again a single crochet and a slip stitch. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna go into the first one and we go and do a slip stitch. So do a regular slip stitch. Now we go to the next one. Again, only back loops. We're gonna do a single crochet. If you do not know how to do a single crochet, let me show you really quick. You go into the stitch, you yarn over, and you pull up that loop. You yarn over and go through both loops. Okay? Now we're going to do a half double crochet. You yarn over once, go into that back loop, you yarn over and pull up that loop, and then you yarn over and pull through 3 loops. Let me show you that one more time. Another half double crochet. So you yarn over, go into that back loop, yarn over and pull up your loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook right now. You yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that's a half double crochet. Now we're going to do a single crochet. So put your hook in there, you yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2. And then we do a slip stitch into that last one in the back loop only. Just like so. Okay? So now you have this little shape here, starting to shape up like a little leaf. And now this part is the part that's is not necessarily difficult, but it can get a little tricky sometimes. What we're going to do is that we're going to go into this little hump here, this little brace, before we go into the next stitch. Let me show you what I mean. And what we're going to do is that we're going to start that pattern again of doing the 6 slip stitches, which is the first row that we did here in the first leaf. This is already 1 leaf here. So in the first row, that first leaf, we did 6 slip stitches, and that's what we're going to do again. So we're starting that pattern over. So go into this little hump here. So just go right in there. And now we're going to go into the next chain, which is right here. So go into that top of the chain, and you're going to yarn over and go through those 2 loops there. So that little bridge plus the stitch that you have. Okay, so now that creates the little join, so that way it has that shape of a leaf. So go ahead and repeat that pattern again. I'll have the pattern up here if you want to take a picture of it or write it down somewhere. So we already did 1 slip stitch, so we're going to go ahead and create another 5 slip stitches. Alright, good. So we did our 6 slip excuse me. We did our 6 slip stitches. And what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So when you're looking at your piece, you're looking at from this way. So you want to turn it like this, so that way you can see your slip stitches, which are on the other side, which is the front side of your piece. And now we're going to go into the back loop only. So we skip our turning chain here, and we go into the back loop right here. This is our front loop. We're going to go into the back loop right over here. Okay, so that back loop, those are the ones we are working on. That's why it's important not to make your stitches too tight. Now we're going to do that yarn over slip stitch. So we yarn over first, go into that last slip stitch, that last slip stitch you created in the back loop only. You yarn over, and you pull up that loop and go through both loops in the back here. Just like that. Okay, so that's 1. And you're going to do it 6 times. So yarn over, go through the back loop only. Like so. Yarn over, pull up that loop, and pull that loop through the 2 back loops back here. Just like that. Great. So we made it to the end of this row here, and we're going to yarn over and create your chain, which is your turning chain, and turn your piece. We're gonna do that little pattern again where it is the slip stitch, single crochet, 2 half double crochet, single crochet, and slip stitch. Back loops only. Do not go through both loops. You want to have that textured appearance. You want to work on the back loops only. Okay, so we finished our 6 stitches there of that pattern, and now we're back in this section where you got to go through that little hump there, and then you go into the next stitch. So I'll show you again. So you just go into that little hump that's sticking out here. You go right in there, and then you're gonna go into the next stitch from your startup chain, back loop only. You yarn over and you're going to do a slip stitch. So go through all your loops back there. Okay, and that's going to be your first stitch, your first slip stitch. You're going to do 6 of them again. So go ahead and do your 6 slip stitches. Great, so go ahead, now that we finished that 6 slip stitches, it's really a tongue twister for some reason. Go ahead and chain 1 and turn your piece. And we're going to do that yarn over slip stitch. Perfect. Now that you've made it this far, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to do that pattern again. Alright, so we have our leaves here. We have 3 leaves so far. You may have less or more depending how far you've gone. And now we're gonna go over here, and as you can see, we have 3 stitches left. So instead of doing 6 slip stitches, we're gonna do only 3. But we're in this little hump thing again, this little bridge. So we're gonna go into our little hump there again. So go into that little bridge and then go into the next stitch there and create a regular slip stitch and pull that thread right through both loops that are on there on your hook. So that's your first stitch. Go ahead and do 2 more, 2 regular slip stitch. I'm going to remove my stitch here, my marker I mean. Okay, so that's 3 slip stitches. You're going to yarn over and create your chain and turn your work. Now we're going to do that yarn over slip stitch. So go ahead and do the yarn over slip stitch, and we're going to do 3 of them, not 6, just 3. Now go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And to finalize this row, we are going to do a slip stitch, single crochet, and then a half double crochet. So do a slip stitch, again, back loop only, single crochet, and then your half double crochet. Just like so. And you have finished your first row of your brioche stitch. It is very easy so far. I mean, it's a little difficult, but you'll get the hang of it. Now we're gonna go over to row 2. And at the end of row 2, I will show you the magic of how easy this actually is. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. We are going to do 6 yarn over slip stitches. As you can see, we've made it to this little bridge thing again. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do this one a little bit different. We're going to go into that bridge here, like we have been, because we need to do 6 of those. And we're also going to go into this little piece here next to it. I'm trying to show you. We're going to go into this stitch here, which is right next to it. So go right into that stitch as well. Oh. And then we're gonna go into the next stitch there, and we're doing a yarn over slip stitch. So you have to yarn over first and then go into that back loop only, yarn over, and then pull through all those loops that are on your hook. Go all the way through, and there you go. That gives it that little, like, more of a diagonal feel to it, so that way you can have that appearance of the waves as well. Now we have 4 of them, and we're gonna do 2 more. And now we have our 6 yarn over slip stitches. There you go. Let's go ahead and continue. We're going to yarn over and create that chain and turn your piece. Now we're gonna work backwards again. We're gonna do that pattern that we've been doing before, the slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and so on and so forth. So go ahead and create that pattern there. Just follow along with the pattern on the screen. And now we're going to yarn over and turn our work. Now we're going to do a pattern that repeats for the rest of the row. And what we're going to do is that we're going to create 12 yarn over slip stitches. Okay, so every time you get to a little bridge, you just go through the 1 loop here like we have been doing. Okay, so the first one's going to have 6, and then you do the bridge, do 3, bridge, and do 3. That creates the 12 yarn over slip stitches. And that's 6. Okay, so we're going to continue because we need 12 of them. As you can see, we have that little bridge, so we're going to go into that 1 hump, just the hump, and then we're going to go into this stitch here, but we got to do the yarn over first. Go into the back loop only and create that stitch there with the yarn over slip stitch. Okay, as you can see, it did that little snatch there, so it can stay like that and creates that little wave. Okay, so go ahead and do 2 more here. We're at a bridge again, so go to the little hump and put your hook through there. Now we're going to yarn over again, and go into your next stitch here. Pull up your loop and go through your 2 loops there. Do 2 more. A good way to keep track also, if by any chance you forgot to mark it up at the beginning, you want to make sure that at the end here you have 3 stitches left. Now we're going to chain and turn our work. We are going to do that pattern again, the slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and slip stitch. Dun, dun, dun. Now we are going to chain and turn our work, and we're going to continue that pattern again. And then you just repeat that over and over again until you get to the end. But at the end, I will show you what happens. So before you get to the end, come back to the video so I can show you. Alright, so I'm at the end here, and if you count forward, you're going to realize that you do not have enough room to continue that pattern of the 12 yarn over slip stitches. So what you're going to do is that you're going to change it up a little bit. So you want to go ahead and do your chain 1 and turn. And instead of doing 12, we're going to do 9 of the yarn over slip stitches. Great, so now we're going to yarn over, chain, and turn your work. We're going to do a half double crochet first. So do half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and then a slip stitch. And then you go into chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to do 3 yarn over slip stitches. There. So we have finished our row, and now you have 2 rows of leaves. You can see them shaping up already, and see the back has all those little imprints. It's really cool looking. It's pretty cool. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and you're gonna do that process again of the first row that you started with. So that's why that's magic, because it's literally just 2 rows and you're just repeating them over and over again. Now this row is going to be a little bit different from the very start, just because you have that little hump there in the beginning. So do not worry though, do not panic. What you're gonna do is that you're gonna do the regular 6 slip stitches, and when you get to a little hump, just go through the little bridge that I've been teaching you. So you go through the little hump and then go into the next stitch. So when you do your slip stitch, you go through all the loops and the bridge. I'll show you really quick. Now we've got that little bridge there, right, that we need to cinch up. So we go through that little hump there, just like that. And we're going to our next stitch here, back loop only, and continue your slip stitches like that. Okay, so that's the 4th one, 5th, and 6th. And then you chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to continue the pattern that you got to see at the beginning of this video. So just continue that process of doing the layers of 1 2 1 2 1 2 until you are satisfied with how many rows you've got on your project. Now when you finish your rows, I'm going to show you how you can have this little alignment here where it's like a straight. You want to have the same straight alignment at the end as well, because if not, you're going to have this leaf edge at the top of your piece, and I'm pretty sure you want a straight line. So I'll show you how to take care of that. So here we are. We have our rows complete, and let's say we want to have that straight edge. So what we're going to do is that we are going to do something that's very, very difficult. We are going to do a slip stitch all the way across. So difficult. Now this is actually the easiest part of the whole thing. So because I started with my 21 startup chains, I'm going to have a finishing of 21 slip stitches. If you started with a longer startup chain, you're going to have that number of slip stitches, or shorter is shorter. You know what I'm trying to say. Now what we're going to do here is that we already did the turning chain, and we're going to continue working on the back loops only. So just do a slip stitch all the way across in the back loop only, and we're going to go the same way like we did with our little bridges here. We're going to go through that little hump and our stitch here and the slip stitch, just like that, and just keep going all the way through slip stitch. And every time you come across the bridge, just do that, just go through that little hump and then go into your stitch and then continue your slip stitch. And there you have it. You have a straight edge at the top and the bottom, and now it is evened out. As you can see, it does have that cute design there, that little textured stitch there going on in the front. In the back, you have a little bit of texture as well. It's just not as defined as it is in the front. So this is what the back looks like, and the front will look just like that. The texture, material, the leaves and the vines is just such a beautiful stitch in my opinion. And now you know how to make it yourself too, and it's very easy. Just go back to this video if you lost track of how to create each row, and like I said, each row is very easy. It's just row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2, and so on and so forth until you get the size or length or width that you want. If you enjoy creating stitches like this and creating your own designs, you are going to love this book that I am writing. It is available for pre-order now, so make sure that you go ahead and get that. The discounted price is no longer available, unfortunately, because I had that available for 2 weeks. So if you missed out, I am sorry, but there is something that you will receive along with your pre-order if you do pre-order it now. If you are interested, go ahead and check it out. The link is in the description box down below. And also, if you did like this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up. And also, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. So that ends our video for today. You can click over here to this video and it will take you to my last tutorial of a fun watermelon coaster, so you can enjoy the remainders of your summer days. So sad. Anyway, thank you for coming by as always, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye everyone. Bye.